Hey, hold on. Should I turn my. Welcome to another episode of Worst Case Scenario. It's going to be our top five edition. Uh, this kind of was loosely put together right there at the end, but hey, we came up with five topics. It's Christmas time, so Merry Christmas to all you motherfuckers out there. Christmas time means a little bit different things to each one of us. Some of us enjoy it. Some of us some people shoot themselves around Christmas time. Not we're not acknowledging that you should do any enjoy yourself. Maybe not like kill yourself or anything. But if you do it, I mean, come on, guys. Have a heart. Do it in the shower where your family ain't got to clean up after your brain splatter. Uh,
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, dang.
if you're gonna get maybe jump off a cliff, that way your family ain't got to fucking clean up anything, and then the authorities do. So I mean, these are all good these are all good things that if you're gonna commit suicide, do it this way that keep your family out of it. So we got five loosely topics though right now. We're gonna start off with topic number one. Let's see what Phil and D'Lo think about this. The college football playoff. Now, some games have already taken place and we're into the second, so-called second round coming up this weekend. So I'm gonna start off with you, Phil. What do you think's happened so far, and how you see this weekend going?
All right. I was really excited about Friday night. This past Friday night, we had Notre Dame and IU. It sucked that they had to battle each other in the first round of the playoffs, but we got it. We were getting it, and we were a little upset. I know me and Dilo talked about this because the way Indiana came out, like it made them look like they didn't belong there, but I believe IU did belong there. I'm telling you guys, Notre Dame, in my book right now, is the second best team in the nation. And I only put them behind Oregon because Oregon has lost or hasn't lost. So that's why Oregon's number one. But ever since Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois by 2 points in South Bend, they have been on a roll. Now, they didn't come out and thump Indiana as bad as I thought they were going to, but man, they came out, they made a statement. They almost let them score too much at the end, but they came back, man. They picked up the win, and this week now we take on Georgia. Georgia's without their quarterback, but that don't mean shit. These teams are built. They got guys that can step in and play. These powerhouse squads like Georgia and shit. So I believe it's going to be a good game. I believe Notre Dame's going to advance. I know Ohio State is they're playing. They beat Tennessee. I wasn't 100% sure. I think they're playing Boise State next. But
No, they're playing Oregon.
Oregon, oh, that's going to be tough. Then Boise State is playing who?
I don't know, Phil. I can't remember now. I don't have my phone because we're doing the podcast.
Okay, here
Uh,
I'll pull it up, man. I'll pull it up and see. We got the bracket pulling up here.
Boise State's the underdog, I believe. Penn State.
Okay, now coming up this week, we got number 5 Texas taking on number 4 Arizona State. Texas probably wiped the floor with Arizona State, but we got number 8 Ohio State playing number 1 Oregon. That's going to be good. That's the Rose Bowl there. In the Fiesta Bowl, we got Penn State, number 6, playing number 3 Boise State. I expect Penn State just to run through Boise. I know they got that running back, but Penn State should run through them. And then number 7 Notre Dame taking on number 2 Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. And I'm looking forward to what Notre Dame is going to do to Georgia. I really am. D'Lo, go ahead and give your input on this, buddy.
It's just one of those things, man. I was kind of worried about this situation, and exactly what I thought was going to happen kind of happened. Even though Indiana ended up playing Notre Dame a little tougher than what initially looked like was going to happen, a lot of people came out and said teams like SMU and teams like Indiana just don't belong there with the big dogs. They've got to figure out a way to weed them out before the playoff starts, and they were like, maybe 8 teams was the way to go about it, and continuing to grow this is the wrong idea, and things like that. And that's what I expected to happen. I expected some of these smaller teams to get their asses handed to them, just like I expect Arizona State to get fucked up this week. So it's just one of those things.
I like it this way because you can have people go back and say, well, maybe it's too much, but it's not too much, because had it only been 8, like some of these teams were going to get held out. And so
I agree, but like I said, you're like, how can you justify that an Indiana should be there when they come in and get their asses handed to them, but in Alabama could have. But what I'm saying is they're saying in Alabama could have came in and played them a little tougher or something. You know what I mean? Like,
they lost.
It's just
they weren't going to play nothing tough.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's unfortunate that Indiana had to play Notre Dame and things like that, but it is what it is. It was all going to come to an end at some point, and it just happened to be in the first round. So Notre Dame goes on to play Georgia this week. It's a lot tougher competition. We'll see if what Phil's saying is true, that Notre Dame, Phil thinks that Notre Dame's the second best team in the country. I disagree. I feel like they struggled with Indiana this week a lot more than they should have, and Georgia's gonna come out ready, and they're they could very well shock Notre Dame. So it's just one of those deals, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. I kind of agree with what Delo's saying about Indiana. But I mean, I got a soft spot in my heart for Indiana making it that far. But like, if you put Indiana against some of them other teams that was already in the playoff, I think Indiana would have smoked them.
I agree.
State, Arizona.
Wait. I mean, who are you referring to? Because I'm going to tell you what. At the first half of this game, Indiana looked exactly like they did with Ohio State, and that. There was no chance. There was no chance for Indiana to win this game.
Well, like
the way they came out,
Boise State, Arizona State, Indiana would have smoked some of these teams.
Maybe, yeah. I just these bigger powerhouse teams.
I'll tell you what. Some of the underdogs this week are crazy to me. So you got. No shocker, you got Texas -14. So
they're the 14-point favorite, yeah.
Yeah, they're favored over Arizona State. But then you go down to Georgia and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's Georgia's a 1.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I kind of expected that, man. It's a big step up in competition from Indiana to go play Georgia.
All right, well, here's the shocker. Ohio State is a 2.5-point favorite over Oregon.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it because on the screen here they got Ohio State is -2. That is interesting, considering they're an 8 taking on a 1 seed.
Yeah. Well, I brought it up though before, Phil. Ohio State falls into the SEC type of where they give them credit where credit's not due all the time.
Yeah, especially with
that. Lost to Oregon. You got to remember that they barely lost to Oregon in regular season. So.
But during the Ryan Day era, they've been known to choke in big games.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yep.
You hear that talk about Ryan Day going
just
to
Chicago? Just like James Franklin is known to lose to ranked teams. So Penn State's a little nervous about that.
ESPN has Penn State as a -10.5 favorite.
I foresee Penn State winning this game, but they'll probably meet their maker next round.
To what? SEC?
No, they're gonna take on Notre Dame in the next round after Notre Dame beats Georgia.
Even
Oh,
if Notre Dame loses to Georgia and Georgia plays Penn State, I foresee Penn State losing next round either way.
I don't know, fellas.
Oh, we'll find out. What's the next topic, bud?
Next topic is the state of the NBA. We got to talking about this right before the podcast started. Was talking about the NBA Cup and how everybody's pissed off at my work. We bet on the NBA, and I told him, I said, it's the NBA Cup. Nobody plays their starters as much as they usually do. So
Yeah.
NBA is like falling downhill, and really, there's I mean, it's really between the owners and the players, and the players got so much more to say than they used to, which is terrible. But terrible for the game, and how the game grows. But compared to compared to how we watched it back in the day, every game was considered important. So I'm gonna let you start off on this, D'Lo, the NBA and the state of it today.
The state, they're in bad shape, and they're continuing to free fall. They're continuing to free fall, and they're going to start to notice that big sponsorship deals and shit are going to start to fall through a little, as time goes on, because they're saying that their TV ratings are down 48% since Adam Silver has taken over as commissioner. There's talks of him being possibly the worst commissioner of all of sports of all time. That's talking Paul Tagliabue, fucking, all these different commissioners that we've grown up seeing throughout the years and shit. And they're saying he's the worst of all time. My thing is, this is where things get confusing to me. How can you, as a player, sit down and say we need more money and we need more control, but we need to play less? The only way that you can do that is you got to drop some games off of the NBA schedule. I say drop it down from about a 82 game schedule to about a 63 game schedule. It'll make games more meaningful, and it'll probably keep fan interest in there a little more. So, other than that, man, the only other thing that I can think that to get the ratings back up to where they need to be is start putting these meaningless games on basic free television, like with channels that you can get with bunny ears and shit, dude. Start putting those meaningless games on those channels to where people even that don't have cable or NBA TV or whatever it is can still watch games. Maybe you'll draw some interest with that, man. That's the only thing I can think to do.
Go ahead, Phil.
I'll tell you what, I'm not a fan of this NBA Cup. Like, you're having a tournament kind of just right after the start of the season started, and you're having this tournament to crown an NBA Cup champion, and then you finish up the season and you crown an NBA champion. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's a meaningless tournament. It doesn't decide if you have home court advantage in the finals or in the playoffs. It doesn't decide. It has no, it has no fucking anything repercussions as to the postseason or anything like that. So it's a meaningless tournament about right as the season starts.
I just don't get it. And here's the problem. Unlike the NFL, no one's bigger than the Shield. You know what I'm saying? In baseball, there's stars in everything, but more than any sport, baseball or basketball is driven by these stars and not really the teams. It ain't so much about the Knicks or the Bulls or anything. It's more about like LeBron or Stephen Curry. You know what I'm saying? It's more about the stars. They live and die by their stars. They put too much into the stars and not enough emphasis on the teams themselves. So it's sometimes you wonder who's running the NBA? Is it Adam Silver or is it LeBron?
Right.
I don't know. Basketball still gets the views, and the reason that they don't put it on like basic local channels, I guess you would say, is because they have the NBA season pass. I have that. You can watch all the games and stuff. I didn't watch it. I got it, and I gave my info to Chad so that way he could watch the Timberwolves play. I actually won a free season of it on DraftKings.
Yeah, but the NBA has died out. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the NBA died out. Basically, after like the early '90s, mid '90s. I guess I go far as say mid '90s. But I mean, yeah, you had stars, Phil, but they represented teams, and they played 82 games strong. They worried about a record, not setting a record for wins, but they worried about every game. Was it a win? Was it a loss? Now you got teams that have stars on them, and they don't give a fuck if they sit out 42 games, half the season, 41 games.
Yeah.
Well, plus
As long as they're an 8 seed and they're still in the playoffs, it's like we'll be good. We'll put all of our guys in. We'll be an 8 seed, and we'll wreak havoc on the fucking league. And I don't know. I mean, when you watch a game, unless somebody goes off for like offensive points, you don't see nothing like you used to see back in the 80s and 90s, to where punches are thrown, everybody's fighting for a rebound, everybody's fighting for, you know what I mean? The fouls have gotten a lot softer, the calls have gotten a lot softer. It's gotten more technical, where they put in more rules, but it just made it more pussified, if I can say that term, pussified.
Well, they've also done what they can to distance themselves from their past, and I seen a thing come out the other day where an NBA analyst came out and had written an article, and he said that Larry Bird wasn't a top 10 shooter of all time. I said, dude, you are crazy, man. Anybody that watched Larry Bird shoot knows how clutch that dude was, dude. You know what I mean? So, but it's easy to say when you're too young to have ever watched a Larry Bird play or a Magic play or a Jordan play. These people are too young to have seen Jordan in his prime, and so of course they're going to say LeBron is the GOAT. You know what I mean? But anybody that watched Jordan do what he did can see that LeBron can't even hold a candle to that shit, man.
So LeBron is great. He is great.
Absolutely.
I probably wouldn't have said that fucking 5 years ago, but I'm gonna tell you right now, LeBron's great. But if LeBron was playing against Charles Barkley and Akeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson,
Drexler.
Yeah, man. I mean, LeBron wouldn't be as good as he is right now, because these guys played every game like it was their last. They played 82 games. They played every 82 games like it was their last. LeBron plays 41 games. And maybe he played harder when he was younger to try to get to this point, but at this point in time, dude's a lazy motherfucker, man.
Well, and it's not just him. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's
it's
been
the whole
doing
NBA.
Kawhi Leonard's been doing it for years, man.
I feel like the NBA got too political.
It definitely did.
Well, I felt like the NBA, like D'Lo said, who's running the fucking league, Adam Silver or LeBron James? And like you go back to, sorry Phil, sorry if this is a sweet spot, but you go back to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. You start letting the players make the calls, and That's never a good thing.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that with the Jets. We can talk about that with the NBA. We can talk about that with AEW. It doesn't work no
Start
matter
letting
what it
the
is.
players, the personnel make the calls, and you fuck yourself.
Yep, that's right.
Well, that's why there's management. That's why there's a coach, a GM, and an owner.
But you got to have somebody strong enough to stand up to these guys and say, "Shut the fuck up! Shut your mouth! Shut the fuck up!"
Well, the problem with that is the NBA gave these players too much power in their collective bargaining agreements, and fucking it's only getting worse as time goes on, man.
It's a sinking ship.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's a sinking
It is.
ship. But it's $1 billion sinking ship, so kind of like AEW, which we're getting ready to jump onto next. But it's $1 billion sinking ship, so it's never actually going to ever go under.
Well, I tell you this, man. If the WNBA had a couple more Caitlin Clarks, the NBA would be in trouble. So, because dude, the eyes,
it's still basketball, man. It's still basketball.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the eyes that Caitlin Clark has brought over to the WNBA have been unfucking believable, dude.
They just added an expansion team this year.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the expansion team? I figured they were going to add 2 if they were going to.
Nope,
if they were
added
going
a
to
team. Copy of the NBA. They added
Slow your roll, D-Lo.
They're called the Golden State something.
Really?
But it's just follow like the fucking Warriors. But
what was you saying? What was you saying, Bennett?
I was telling you, slow your roll when it comes to NBA, the women's NBA.
No, I don't think that it's ever going to be close. But like I said, if there were a few more Caitlin Clarks in there, somebody could draw that attention like that, the NBA would be in a little bit of trouble, dude. That'd be for sure. But there's nobody, even with Paige Beckers coming out of UConn this year and shit, nobody is a lightning rod like Caitlin Clark was last year, man.
Wow, she's a stud. Right. Definitely a stud. All right, what's the next topic, bud?
AEW sucks, and why?
Oh. Well, tell us, Bennett.
I mean, I'd love to get in on this.
Why does it suck?
Either one of you guys can start. If you want, I can start.
You go ahead, Bennett. Start it up.
I'll start it because my shit's probably gonna be a lot shorter than you guys. Number one, I said this from the start when the first time I watched AEW. I told Phil, and I think I told you too, Bennett. We might have been talking on a conference call or something, but I told you guys that there's too many factions in there. They stuck everybody in factions and did all this shit. Well, now you got all these different people that they've signed to all these different deals, and too many people have creative control. And it's just there's no storylines to follow. It's trash, dude. Tony Khan is trash as any kind of management, as an owner, as a promoter, all the above. He's trash, dude. The only thing he has is money.
Interesting. Go ahead, Bennett.
Well, the reason why I think it fucking sucks is a little bit what D'Lo said, but at the same time, it's not what D'Lo said. It's not the fact that people have creative control. It's the fact that Tony Khan gives them the opportunity to say, what do you want to happen tonight? And everybody's going to say they want to be on top. So the next thing you know, you got fucking 5 main events on a 2-hour show with 8 matches. And it's like, can't do that. You got to structure your promotion around one main event. Otherwise, that main event don't make no fucking sense.
They don't have to.
So if you got 10 wrestlers, and all 10 of them are trying to do a main event match, the main event's not going to mean nothing. And Tony Khan prides himself on doing 5-star matches. For who? For who? For some retard that writes a magazine?
I'll give you an example here. Here's something that just recently happened. They just brought in the Hurt Business with Bobby Lashley and all that shit. So they had the opportunity to really to push that and to boost them up and to use them to boost up guys and all that shit. And the first night out, Lashley loses to who was it, Phil?
No, he won. He beat Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, he hasn't lost yet.
I thought he got beat
So
by
Shelton
like
Benjamin was lost.
Shelton
No,
Benjamin. Maybe that was who it was. Yeah.
Shelton
I
Benjamin
don't know.
lost. Bobby Lashley hasn't lost.
He's lost a couple times. Shelton has.
Maybe
But
it was
I
Orange
was
Cassidy.
reading on there a
No.
minute. I was just reading on the screen that an AEW wrestler says the Costco guys, which is Big Boom AJ and whatever that other guy's name is, they're more popular than Roman Reigns, is what this AEW wrestler is saying.
And they put him on the show last weekend on Collision.
Yep. It was on Saturday, yeah. Because here comes the Boom, baby. But they didn't have the Rizzler on there. Maybe that's why. He would have blown the ratings
I don't know
out.
about the Rizzler. But I tell you this, I did watch it, and Ricochet and Osprey went on, and they started the show off, and they got the show hot. It was ready to go. And by the next match, they put on, I think it was Willow and Cameron, Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron.
It sucked the air out of the place, man.
It will sometimes.
And then you go from there, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're already fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know. This place is a shit show solely because Tony Khan was running it. If he just had a little bit of help, and he would help fucking take, not the help that he's getting from the Young Bucks or whoever or Jericho, but if he had a little bit of outside help, he might be onto something. He was onto something a couple of years ago, but the only reason why he was because everybody was looking for an alternative. Plus, the WWE sucked when it started out. The WWE was fucking tired and trash. Vince McMahon was running into the ground with 1980s, early 90s fucking story ideas. And now that Vince is out of the way, the cream rises to the crop, or cream rises to the top, and this is dog shit. And you watch it every week, and you just see that it is what it is now, and it's dog shit.
Yeah.
These guys are not good on pay-per-views. They're not good on pay-per-views. They're not good on side shows. They're not good on their main shows. They're not good anywhere that they go.
Well, they are starting
They
to listen.
constantly make mistakes.
He did move it from big arenas down to smaller ones, and the sound is coming off better. You know what I'm saying? But it's still the wrestling. The wrestling in their minds is 5-star, but then the storylines with nothing. And the storylines they do have are garbage. They're pushing Jon Moxley like crazy, and nobody's buying into it. Nobody.
No, it's trash.
I can't even. It's trash that we wasted time on the top 5 as that is subject to talk about because of how trash they've been.
Well, it was important to me because we haven't talked about it in a long time, and it's important to me because I really like AEW, like as a theory, and I want it to succeed just to have an alternative to WWE, because sometimes WWE, it doesn't matter, it bores the shit out of me. But AEW keeps my interest. For instance, I watched Saturday Night's Main Event, and you know what I mean? I thought it was cool. It was put together well, but at the same time, there wasn't nothing that stood out. I go and watch a fucking AEW Saturday Night Collision, and the Will Ospreay Ricochet match stood out to me as the best thing about wrestling that week. But that's all there was. After that, it just fell apart. So that's why it's important that AEW like actually does a good job. But it's like Tony Khan don't give a fuck about it and not willing to take a chance on it, or not willing to take an outside listening to it. So we get what we get. We get one fucking good match, if that's what we get that night, and then the rest is dog shit. To where you look at it and you're like, man, I just wasted 2 hours of my fucking life watching this stupid shit. And then you just want to go up and beat the shit out of the fucking guy. Because if you ever seen him in real life, he looks like a motherfucker that you just want to beat the shit out of. And I'm told he's the nicest guy. And trust me, by all means, if you say he's the nicest guy, I don't know about you, D'Lo. I don't know about you, Phil. But I'm the type of guy that walks up to the nicest guy that you can find and punch him right in his fucking mouth.
Oh,
Well, that's not very nice.
yeah. All right, what's the next subject, bud?
I'm a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
What's
The next subject I had, I didn't know how popular this was going to be, but I mean, we can turn in all kinds of different things if we want. But it's Christmas time, and I just wanted to feel out how you guys are doing with your holiday season, and how much you really enjoy Christmas now. Phil, at the age of 43, D'Lo, you 38 now?
I'm 40, bud.
40. Christmas is a lot different when you're 40 compared to when you're 20 or 17, 12. How you feel about Christmas this year, D'Lo?
I mean, it's just another year, man. The kids are grown these days, and shit like that. So it's usually just me and the old lady just chilling on Christmas morning. The kids don't even bother to get up in the mornings and
you guys spoon a lot more?
I mean, I wish. Now more than anything, she's like, "Get the fuck away from me." But
that's Christmas time. You know better than get close to me, bitch.
Yeah, yeah. So no, man, it's things hit a little different when the kids are grown and shit, man. You don't get into the spirit as much. You still got small kids, you and Phil do. So you guys still got small kids at home and shit. So you guys get riled up for it every year and shit still.
No,
so.
But in general, man, I mean, in general, even when my kids were fucking small, young, old, or whatever, sometimes I felt like Christmas time was like I'd get passionate about it. Not even like for the kids, just about myself. It's Christmas time. You should get in that like kind of mindset. It's like it's when you should be a little bit nicer to your fellow brother. When you should try to do a little bit more for another person. And then sometimes it's like, man, fuck Christmas.
That's usually after Biggie stiff.
You never get in the Christmas spirit, D-Lo, where you just like feel like, oh man, this is, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna look at some lights. I'm gonna play some Christmas music.
Yeah, when my kids were younger, and we'd go look at Christmas
That's what
lights.
I'm saying. Not that your kids are younger now. I'm talking about, do you ever get in that fucking kind of time where you're just like, it's Christmas time, man. It's nice. It's nice. It's Christmas.
No, I don't. No,
it's just winter time, and it's another day of the year.
It's another day of the year, bud. Yeah.
So you don't give a fuck about Christ our Lord?
I didn't say that. I mean,
what the fuck is the matter with you?
I mean, you're supposed to care about the Lord every day. So,
what are you, some kind of atheist?
You're the one that's going off into all this shit, dude.
I'm just asking.
Hell yeah.
Phil, you want to put some input on this?
Well, just recently I have been reading about how they found the actual body of Saint Nick. So
what?
Yep. That's true.
Was it written on his fucking skull?
No, they knew where he'd been. They knew where he'd been.
Oh, they tracked him. They tracked him.
They did, and they found his body. And I watched a show called Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates. And,
Expedition Finding Saint Nick.
They found him though, man. They found.
This is such bullshit.
It's a true story, man.
It's not. What truth do you have to put on the podcast that the story is true?
It's a true story, bud. 100% true story. It's too much to cover here, but Christmas. It's. My kids were older, and now I got a newborn, and I'm with someone that's got some young kids, so it's the Christmas spirit is coming back into this Grinch's heart slowly.
But you're not a fan of Christmas just by itself?
Well, it's always not. It's if I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't have cared about Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I had kids. What'd you say?
He
Pagan!
said a pagan.
Yeah, my man. But I got kids, so Christmas is like it was changing up because my kids were getting older and they weren't little anymore. But now, you know, what I'm saying there is little kids. Now it's coming back into it. Watching all the Charlie Brown, all the old school, you know, what I'm saying, like the original Grinch cartoon and all those.
Yeah, Christmas time is special, man. It's a feel good thing. I like fucking like even if I got younger kids too, but even if I didn't, Christmas time is a little bit special. It's a little bit different than the rest of the time of the year.
You
Well,
can't
because you're
go-
the Grinch all fucking year long. So for you
Fuck
to
you.
be a little.
Hey, what's the last topic? What's the last topic?
Now we're not moving on until D-Lo acknowledges that he's a goddamn Jew and he celebrates Hanukkah.
I celebrate a Festivus for the rest of us.
Oh my God, you're a Seinfeld guy.
No, actually, I said today that Seinfeld was overrated.
So what the fuck do you represent, guy?
No, I just the Festivus thing was a funny episode, but
You're a goddamn
Nah.
Nazi.
This might be the worst episode we've ever done.
I celebrate what's the
Kwanzaa?
African one? Kwanzaa, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh God, move on. Move on.
All right, last but not least, it's something I want to cover up.
Its response on the.
Yeah, you guys are a couple pieces of shit, man. Last but not least, we're going to do the CR bill. I know you guys are fucking retarded. You don't pay attention to this shit. Like
Hey.
Phil always says to me, Ben don't watch the news. No, I do not. I do not watch the news. I think it's full of fucking propaganda and bullshit. But one thing stood out to me, one thing that did catch my eye, and once I got a little bit more in depth about it and did a little bit more in depth fucking studying in it, this was a real thing, and it was a big fucking deal that no one was even actually putting on. It's called the CR bill. It's $100 trillion bill, and they tried to pass it.
Trump.
I don't remember the exact date, but it was right before Christmas, before Congress takes their holiday. It was
They tried to-
1,500.
Yeah, they tried to mask it with saying that this was the only way that they were going to stop a government shutdown was if this bill got passed. And Trump was like, "You better not fucking pass that shit." You know what I'm saying? So
Well, Trump was saying that, but he had no say so.
no, but he had people on the inside that would vote against it, and that's what ended up happening. They didn't get it through. So
Well, they actually cut it down and tried to pass it, and it got blocked again.
yeah.
But it was for $100 trillion. It was a 15, and I told Phil this before we went on the podcast. They do this every year around the holiday season. They bring up a huge bill. This was 1,500 pages that no one was going to fucking read, even though that's their fucking job. No one was going to read 1,500 pages.
Well, apparently Trump
100 billion.
did.
Huh?
I said apparently Trump did.
Trump didn't read it. I guarantee you this. Trump didn't read one page. He didn't read the first fucking page. He said, this smells like fish to me, and we're not fucking fishing.
Well, here's an even bigger thing, man. Okay, they got this shut down, so that's a good thing. That Trump's
believe
got
that?
enough.
Hold on. You believe that Donald Trump can actually read 1,500 pages?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's a
Fucking
fucking
out of your
billionaire.
mind. You're out of your mind.
He's a billionaire, bro. He's
a billionaire.
He's been in business. What? He's a billionaire. He has billions of dollars in assets.
Do you think that you and Donald Trump have the same intellect?
No, I think he's probably a little higher intellect than I am. Yeah.
No, I think you guys are on the same fucking brain wavelength. I think you could run this country as good as Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, that's not. That's not true at all.
All right. Well, if you're out, then I nominate Phil next.
Okay.
I'm losing too, man. He's not an idiot. He's a very smart individual. You don't become president of the United States twice, run business the way that you do, without having some kind of intellectual properties in your mind.
I mean, dude, you have presidents of other countries sitting down and negotiating peace terms of wars with him before he's even in the White House. That tells you right there, like, his respect level and what he brings to the table is enough. Like, these motherfuckers know he's already made his opinion clear on it, and so they know we better sit down and get a peace deal out, or he's gonna fuck us up, dude. So
Trust me. Hey, okay, I agree with you there. If they made me president,
Oh, good Lord.
other countries are going to come to me right away before I get elected and say, "Hey, you seem like kind of a loose cannon. You want to go ahead and talk some treaties and talk some trade embargoes. That way, you don't fucking just come into office and fuck me up for no reason."
yeah, well, I mean, everybody thought he was bluffing the first time. That's why everybody's willing to sit down with him the second time, because he showed him he didn't give a shit. He'd put tariffs on people, and he'd cut countries off of resources and all that shit. So,
D-Lo, you just agreed with me saying that, yeah, and it's pretty much like if you were president, nobody would want to go.
but I mean,
fuck ahead.
to be a great leader, you kind of have to be a little bit of a loose cannon. You cannot go in there and get pushed around. Look at who we have as our president right now, bro. Like, this dude is a bumbling, fucking stumbling, fucking. I mean, dude, when he was doing the UN address, you had over 90 countries sitting there watching him. Fucking, this dude couldn't even spout off a sentence, bro. Is that who you want as your president, or do you want somebody that'll go in there and say, "Look, here's a picture of your house. If you don't listen to what the fuck we're saying, we're gonna drop so many fucking bombs on the house. It's just going to be a crater in the earth," you know. And
I agree. I agree.
You know,
I'm not.
I mean,
last one.
dude, it is a little bit of a bully tactic, but I think you have to be a little bit of a bully to be the strongest leader of the strongest country in the world.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. I agree. Do you want to give Phil some math problems, or do you want to let Bennett threaten you and your wife, and maybe if you don't let me
no.
Hey, I want to add one other thing that we didn't talk about. I wanted to add one other thing that we didn't get to talk about today, that we didn't have on our list, but I just want to go ahead and throw it out there real quick, and that was about Ricky Henderson dying.
Oh God, yeah. No, we're gonna skip over it. We're gonna skip over it.
No, man, that dude was a legend, man. Yeah,
got at 65. This dude was a base stealing fool, man. Even Seinfeld had an episode about it was.
Is that the one? Is that the one where they spit the loogie?
Yes,
and
yes, and Kramer acts like he got shot.
Yeah.
No, Ricky Henderson was a great baseball player, man. The dude knew how to steal a base, and I just wanted to add that in.
Hey, first of all, he knew how to get on base to steal a base.
Yeah, for sure. I believe him and Pete Rose are probably up there placing a bet right now or something. So, you know, yeah. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to those legends, man.
That's
so,
right. All right, Ben, it's about time to wrap it up. We almost at 45 minutes.
All right. Well, with that being said, sorry we couldn't cover more for you folks, and sorry that Phil wasn't man enough to come up and say what he really thought about Trump. But next time on the episode, we will do manicures and pedicures and see what Dio feels about being gay.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll just have to nail down a interview with our quarterback and determine that, because the Chicago Bears quarterback loves manicures and pedicures. So.